How's it going, everybody? It's Young here, and welcome to day 14 of the Final Fantasy XV Countdown Retrospective. We officially have less than a month to go, folks. Just hang in there a little longer. Before you proceed, I highly recommend you check out day 15, in which I finally dived into 2015 news all the way up to the release of the Episode du Sky trailer. In this video, I'll be diving into news that yielded from 2 active time reports for the month of February 2015. There is a lot to talk about, so without further ado, let's dive right into it. Last time we left off on February 5th, 2015, which was when Square Enix released the trailer for the upcoming Du Sky demo. Next time we would hear of the game was 15 days later on February 20th, 2015. On this date, Square Enix hosted an active time report live stream entirely dedicated to Episode du Sky, featuring a 40 minutes gameplay showcase. Now, I've decided to forego showing you that entire gameplay sequence because I think most of you are pretty familiar with Episode du Sky by now, so what I'll present instead is this article by website Gematsu, which summarized all the information that yielded from the broadcast. Here's what it says. 3-hour demo. Players won't be able to drive the car in the Episode du Sky demo. The drive option is grayed out in the travel menu. Exploration will be done on foot. In the final version, there are times when you aren't able to drive, but in the demo, it's cut. Tabata explains that in the demo, the car is being worked on, and the gang is trying to get money to pay for the repairs. The demo has an ending, which will take about 3 hours to reach. In addition to first print retail copies of Final Fantasy Type 0, the demo will also be included with a digital version, priced at 6,100 yen in Japan. The demo will be included with digital purchases made within the first 2 months of release. Controls. The demo uses the following control scheme. In case where multiple inputs are listed, it is PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Camera, right stick. Movement, left stick. Jump, X button or A button. Dash, aka free run, L3 button / left stick button. Attack, square button / X button. Combos, continue holding down the attack button. Shift or warp and shift break. Circle button and B button. Warp towards the locked on enemy and attack. This consumes MP. Guard, L1 button or LB button. Avoid normal enemy attacks at the cost of MP. It's a matter of timing. The blue light that shines when you evade is the MP being spent. Ability, triangle button or Y button. Each weapon has its own preset abilities. By using the X button or A button and left and right sticks, you can change the ability at any time without stopping the attack. MP is consumed when using abilities. Gameplay report. The demo begins with the title screen, which moves in real time. Although the moon is displayed on the menu screen, it is morning when you start the demo. It should be noted that 1 day is equal to 45 minutes in the demo version. When encountering an enemy, a red gauge suddenly appears on the upper part of the screen. The gauge is activated only when an enemy is targeting the player. If you dash before the gauge is filled, it's possible to avoid the battle. The battle background music generally doesn't play when roaming the field, but when the red gauge is activated, the battle BGM will begin playing. The encounter gauge is invoked by some monsters. The enemy called Totetsu will chase the player so long as you're on the field, while Garula will mind its own business until you provoke it. The battle style of Final Fantasy XV is basically attacking, avoiding enemy attacks by guarding, and then attacking again. When you run out of MP, it's possible to recover your magic points by taking shelter and cover points. When the monster Garula was defeated, the party obtained its meat. Although useful when camping, it's a strong beast, so tackling it early on might not be the smartest idea. Sometimes the enemy will shine according to the timing, and you have an opportunity to counterattack with parry. Players will be able to change Noctis's equipment and use items. In the demo, you won't be able to change the rest of your party's equipment. Equipment has break, rush, / counter, and raid labels. Break weapons are what you strike with first, while rush weapons can be set for your continuous attacks after the initial strike. Speed, among other things, is an important factor when fighting enemies that have strong evasion performance. Battle tactics are created by changing your equipment according to the enemy you're fighting. When you're not in battle, you can open the travel menu, through which you can check the map and determine your next location by changing the position of the marker on the map. The blue points on the map indicate gathering points. You can sell the items you've obtained for gil. The goal in the demo is to earn money to pay for your broken car repair so you can get it back from the garage. In the demo, Noctis is really poor. When you camp, Ignis can cook. Depending on the food Ignis makes, the status buffs given to the party are different. Players can also accumulate experience camping, and level up if they meet the necessary experience requirements. You won't be able to level up outside of camp. After camping, the game will autosave, and it will be morning. Once you camp at a location once, you can return to it at any time. Since the status effects of eating become weaker depending on the number of days elapsed, it's recommended players eat periodically while camping. If you defeat the behemoth, who's named Smoke Eye by the way, you'll be awarded a huge prize. Nighttime is very dangerous. Monsters that do not lurk during the day, such as goblins, lurk during the night. And they're no small fry, as they can steal your items and inflict you with poison status. Q&A Corner. At the end of the live stream, Tabata held a short Q&A. Game over. You get a game over when Noctis is unable to battle. If your HP drops to 0, it doesn't mean you aren't able to battle. First, you are in a critical condition status. In critical condition, a red gauge is displayed, and if the gauge runs out, you'll get a game over. Before the gauge depletes, you can use items and be healed by your companions. If you heal, you'll be fine. Frame rate. The demo doesn't run at 1080p and 30 frames per second. Full HD is planned for the final version. Scope. Is the full version of Final Fantasy XV 10 to 20 times the size of the trial versions? Tabata says, I honestly don't know. Weather. The weather will not change in the trial version. Weather changes are planned for the full version. Weapons. The normal weapons you regularly use in battle are completely different than the Phantom Sword summon weapons. When you start the demo, you have regular weapons, and those won't increase, but you can obtain the Phantom Swords. The Phantom Swords are scattered around on the map, and you obtain them by searching. This is one of the extra elements outside of the storyline. Cooperation. There is only one co-op move in the demo. The co-op moves are really strong. It disrupts the balance because they are gradually learned through growth. Side elements of the demo include searching for the Phantom Swords, as well as additional side elements that unlock after you reach the ending. Data import. There will be no data importing from the demo to the retail version. However, it's possible Square Enix will give players some sort of bonus for having the demo save data. Adamantoys. You won't be able to battle the Adamantoys in the demo version. This is an element that's being incorporated into the story. Airships. Regarding airships, they have not been abandoned. Tabata says he'll talk about it more after the demo version is released. Ending. The ending of the demo touches on the story of the retail version. Development status. The full version is 60% complete. It might not seem like too big of an increase from the game's 55% completeness at the Tokyo Game Show, but the fact is it's progressed a lot. Since the progress of game development isn't finished up uniformly, there is a possibility it will increase quite a bit seemingly at once from here on out. The article concluded with a bunch of screenshots of various aspects of the game, but again, I think you guys are familiar enough with Episode du Sky that we don't really need to dive deep into this. So basically, we learned a shit ton more information about how on-foot gameplay works in the game through Episode du Sky. Do keep in mind, however, that a lot of mechanics have changed since, so what we're seeing here is not representative of the final game. Next up, let's skip ahead 6 days later to February 26th, 2015. On this date, Hajime Tabata hosted another active time report, this time in London. He also brought with him a translator this time, so information for this particular broadcast was much easier to extract. Website Siliconera did a great job with the summary that they released the same day, so let's take a look at that article. The bullet points read as follows. In the demo, you won't be able to use other weapons of the same type, nor will you be able to use all the actions of the weapon. This was done so you can get a taste of how each weapon plays. That said, Tabata would be more than happy to hear about suggestions on weapon customization. The demo won't feature any armor or accessories, but they'll be in the full game. Cars can go on highways, but when you're off the road, you'll be able to travel by foot or chocobo. There will be other means of transportation as well. While Tabata couldn't share more details, he said that there will be trains in the game. When asked whether it'd be easy to simply hold down a button to continuously evade enemy attacks, Tabata said not necessarily, as you can take hits from other directions, and you'll lose your MP before you know it if you do that. Those who prefer to play with a more technical style could also press it to barely get it done in time for minimal MP consumption. The demo will have several phantom swords to acquire, but there will also be something that you can get later that has technical evasions that won't cost you any MP to use. The final build for the demo is not complete yet. They're still working on last-minute touch-ups and look forward to hearing feedback from players who get the demo. The demo won't have button layout customizations. While they will include it in the full version, Square Enix would like to hear more about suggestions on custom menus from players who play the demo. The demo will let you go all the way up to level 99. It still remains unknown whether we'll be able to go beyond that in the full version. Tabata's favorite character is Ignis. They also demonstrated the above video, showing a little bit of dungeon exploration on the Xbox One version of the game. Dungeons in old Final Fantasy games have a scary image to them, so the concept we have gone with was to reproduce that feeling with the latest technology, said Tabata. In addition to goblins, dungeons are filled with tons of monsters. Here's the footage in question for those who have never seen this.
Won't keep you in the dark.
We're drifting into the deep end.
Possible enough. Quiet now.
What? Where? Who? What?
I didn't need to see that. Focus. Station. What about you?
Alright, so back to the bullet points. Some people shared their concern from the previous gameplay footage about the hit stop effect, the slight delay when a sword goes through an enemy to give the attack and enemy a feeling of weight, being too long. According to Tabata, the current version has toned it down, and it lets you fight with a better tempo. Final Fantasy XV's world map will be about 10 times the size of the Duskai region, and the demo will only contain a part of the region to boot. There won't be any towns in the demo, but there will be a little facility. There are NPCs there whom you'll be able to interact with. For example, you'll see an amusing couple and such. You'll be able to meet chocobos in the demo, but you can't ride them. You'll get to do so in the full version. The above footage focuses on Final Fantasy XV's nature spots, where you'll see beautiful scenery and animals and creatures in their natural habitat. Tabata said that this is something they're putting much effort into, and joked about having something like the world of Final Fantasy XV as a BBC or National Geographic special. Here is the footage in question for those who have not seen it yet. So that about concludes all the information for the month of February 2015. So with that, I would like to conclude today's episode of the Final Fantasy XV Countdown Retrospective. Thank you for tuning in. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about episode to Sky prior to its release, and if you managed to get your hands on a copy through Type 0 HD. And to be further updated on all things Final Fantasy, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out!